The award for the most overhyped movie of the year goes to Barbarian? Possibly?
No.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Nobody hyped it up too much for me, so.
I don't know where you've been living, but the marketing for Barbarian was just that, marketing. Most disturbing horror movie of the year. I'm sorry, most disturbing horror movie in years. A masterclass in horror. Twisted, shocking, delightfully unhinged. Not only that, but every fucking single review I saw for this movie prior to watching it was go into this movie blind, don't know anything, all talking about how shocking and crazy it is and how like wild the twist is. I don't know, was it overhyped or is all that stuff true? Let's find out.
Yeah.
This is 476 Barbary, right?
Yeah, I'm renting this place.
No, I booked it a month ago.
Are you sure you have the right place?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
Why don't you come inside and we'll call these idiots.
I was hyped for the movie. I'll tell you what.
I was too. And I tell you what, about the first 30, 45 minutes, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, what's going on? This is interesting.
Yeah.
But then when the hammer dropped, I'm like, okay, roll credits. Movie's over.
I had heard about it. And I think you did too, because we talked about it briefly.
I saw the trailer
months
and
before.
I think and then you mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I had heard about this movie months before the marketing started ramping up for it, and I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. You know, obviously now it's on HBO Max. So I went into it like, oh fuck, I was really excited to watch this movie, even more so given the fact that like people were like ranting and raving about it, how good it was. Now, I do agree it is worth going into this movie blind. I think that's why the movie works so well in certain regards. If you haven't seen it, I would say come back and listen to our conversation after you've seen it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to completely spoil the shit out of it, but we are going to discuss some details of the movie. So that being said...
Oh, this is totally getting spoiled.
Do what you want. Barbarian, director, Zach Kreger. He's kind of a newcomer, not really. He's known for The Whitest Kids You Know, so he's got more of a comedy background. And the movie stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long, pretty much. And this is a movie where Georgina Campbell's character, Tess, she is scheduled to stay at an Airbnb in Detroit, and she gets to the location late at night, and she quickly realizes that our boy Keith, a.k.a. Pennywise, is staying in the same house as her.
What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
As anybody would be, it's a little bit disconcerting and confusing. You know, you've had a long day of travel. You're looking to fucking go to sleep, and there's another guy staying at the house.
Have you ever done an Airbnb?
No, and I won't, because this movie exists, and also the real life shit going on with Airbnb. I don't know if you've heard about that, but apparently there's like they have like a disturbing amount of murders that take place in Airbnbs that the company like tries to cover up. So fuck that shit.
Okay, so I've been at a couple Airbnbs, a lake house here and there and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Here, I pulled up
an
article.
Airbnb. I'm not going to Airbnb in Detroit.
Well, that's, yeah, for sure. But here's an article from Bloomberg from 2021. Airbnb is spending millions of dollars to make nightmares go away. Essentially, there's been some fucked up things going on, like dismemberments and all sorts of crazy shit. And the company's actively trying to cover up, which, I mean, obviously you wouldn't want that type of publicity getting out. But, yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't do that. It's weird staying in a stranger's house. I'm not even totally comfortable with like Uber or those ride sharing apps or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's just all uncomfortable to me. The other thing too is fuck Airbnb, because from a more like socially conscious perspective, they go in and they buy up what would otherwise be affordable low-cost housing in cities and stuff, or people do, and then to put it on Airbnb. So, you know, we have a housing crisis in this country. That's one of the major reasons why. So fuck Airbnb. So we got our girl Tess and our boy Keith, and you know, as we said, this place is in Detroit, and he tells her like she does the smart thing, and I'll give my girl credit because she's smart a lot of times in this movie, which is why what you kind of alluded to is so frustrating.
She tries to appear as smart.
Before you get too specific, there are very frustrating things that happen, and they are frustrating because she is a smart girl in this movie. She's not your typical horror movie person.
We are seeing her gut reactions to things, and we are in a position to say, believe that and get the fuck out of there. But every time she can't or doesn't for whatever reason. So it just builds frustration for the audience.
For a big part of this movie, she's actually almost like she's like a stand-in for the audience because her reactions are very much like audience reactions.
Oh, right. Yes. I mean, she almost left from the jump, which she should have, but...
Yeah, but the movie does a really interesting thing, and it kind of makes it make sense a little bit. And you know, they're having their little thing. She's like, "Oh, I was supposed to stay here," and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess they misscheduled us and all this stuff." She's like, "You know what? It's fine. I'll just go find a hotel." And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, there's an event in town. All the hotels are booked up." You're made to not trust him. You know, he's meant to be the guy who's like, "Oh shit, he's up to no fucking good. He's Pennywise. Like he's built like he's fucking creepy." Up to no good, girl. Get the fuck out of there.
Right. He's not real. He's the house or some shit. You know?
Yeah, he convinces her to stay. Now, this is the first moment where you're like, okay, well, she's smart, had the instinct to leave. I don't understand why she's staying. He's like, oh, it's a really bad neighborhood, which, holy fuck, you don't even understand how bad of a neighborhood it is until the next day. But that's
a typical Detroit neighborhood.
But it's like, I don't know, she goes through these phases of like doing things that are smart and then doing things that aren't smart. Now, me personally, I don't give a fuck. I'm not a woman, and I still wouldn't stay with this motherfucker. I'm getting in my car. I'm fucking driving. I don't care if I have to sleep in my car somewhere. I'll get the fuck out of there.
I would have called that lady that wanted to hire me and said this is going to work out and say, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
I told you where I was staying, and I told you there was a stranger staying with me, and you're like, oh, please be careful. Like, you should have said, oh, dear, no, you're staying with me.
Well,
I know somebody you can stay with. That was the next day.
That was the next day. Again, yeah, I'm still talking about that first night where she actually decided to stay the night because
wakes up and the door's open.
Door's open. He's fucking making noises in his fucking sleep. That being said, though,
they did a really good job building the suspense up in the first.
Yeah, this whole first like act of the movie was very, very suspenseful, very effective mainly because of their two performances. She was incredible. He was incredible, and he's doing such a good job of playing that, like, I know nobody trusts me. The audience doesn't trust me. She doesn't trust me. But I'm really just a nice guy trying not to be fucking creepy, trying to do everything I possibly can to be helpful.
I know it's weird that I have to explain why I didn't open the wine, so I didn't poison it. But I didn't open the wine because I thought you might want some wine.
Well, I found that very charming because I've had a recent conversation with a female friend of mine who was like, man, I think it's really fucked up if you go on a date and guys like bring you a drink from the bar. I would feel much more comfortable if a guy was like, hey, come to the bar with me. Let's get a drink and order it yourself, to sort of eliminate that, you know, that sense of like, oh, this guy put something in my drink, because let's face it, it happens a lot.
Oh, God.
So I thought that was kind of charming that he did that, but I just really like the way I think he did a really, really good job of playing that, like both sides of like, I could be fucking creepy, but I also might not be. You know, and the thing is as an audience, we're trained to know that most movies unfold fairly predictably, especially horror movies, right? And every now and then you get a movie that throws you off. Now, based on the trailer for this movie, I did have a preconceived notion of what this movie was going to be. The way the movie's written and filmed is very, very effective and pretty genius in my opinion, because it constantly has you guessing about what's going to happen next. And a lot of what we're talking about, the tension in this first act of the movie, which is purely based off of these two people in this weird circumstance.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't go the way you, as an audience member, assume it's going to go. It goes in a very different direction. And this movie does this throughout the whole thing. And as soon as you think you have it figured out, something happens that really fucking throws you off your game. Several stages throughout, the movie makes like a complete sharp turn in another direction to the point where it's almost in like a completely different plot. And you're like, what the fuck? Am I even watching the same movie anymore? And that happens a lot in this movie. And I thought that was really cool and creative and effective. You know, the first time that happens is, of course, when she's kind of like discovering that there's like a secret tunnel in the basement. And you're like...
The room or the tunnel?
Well, the tunnel at first, because this, again, is one of those examples where she does something smart. She finds the string and she pulls the door and the door opens up, the secret door, and she's like, nope, I ain't going in there. But then she goes in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, she goes and gets like, she says nope, and you're like, yes, girl, good, don't go in there. But then she goes and gets a flashlight and fucking goes in there. So it's like, wait, why? You know not to go in there.
I guess you could explain it away to being supernatural because the doors kept opening and closing and like the handle was locked. But if you can't mule kick an interior door open, you fail at living life.
You would assume an Airbnb, in certain cases, I had mentioned that like people buy low cost properties just to turn them into Airbnbs. They're probably not putting that much money into a house. So I just assumed the door was on like a fucking faulty hinge and kept closing. But again, the way the movie's filmed and written is very effective because it does have you thinking about like, oh, what the fuck is actually going on here? Is it like motorized to shut?
Shit, yeah.
Is it supernatural? Is it ghosts? And then that first real like, oh, what the fuck movie am I watching moment is when it cuts to Justin Long, who we come to find out is just this fucking real just piece of shit guy. And this is his Airbnb. So it's exactly what I had thought. It's just like a guy who owns this property in this destitute fucking town, and he put as little money as possible into it just so he could have it as an Airbnb. And that's exactly what it was.
Makes it even worse. Like, can't kick that door down.
Well, I see where you're coming from, but I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to kick a fucking door down. I mean, you know, it's hard to kick doors down.
No, it's not.
You don't think so?
An interior door, a mule kick. Okay, so a mule kick is when you stand up and you kick.
Yeah, and hit behind you.
You kick behind you because you get more force that way.
Right.
When you try and kick forward, you're not getting as much force. So, and an interior door, I mean, you're talking like a 1/4-inch piece of trim that's tacked on with little bitty finishing nails. Like, you're gonna kick that thing open. A 15-year-old could do it.
But yeah, so that first half hour of the movie is her discovering that like something creepy's going on. She finds this hidden door in the basement, discovers a fucking very deep, dark hallway that leads to a creepy ass fucking room with a camera in it, almost as if prisoners have been there. You're still at this point not trusting Bill Skarsgård's Keith, and he comes home and she tells him about it, and this motherfucker just goes into the fucking dark tunnel like, oh, I want to go check it out. And this kind of sets this particular storyline off on its course. As he goes down there, she goes after him because she hears him yelling and all this stupid stuff. And this is where I was really annoyed by the character, because I'm like, you've done a lot of smart things up until this point. You checked his wallet. You didn't drink the wine.
Took a photo.
Like, you took a photo of him. You weren't going to stay with him. You didn't go down the deep tunnel, but then you kind of did. And then all of a sudden she goes down there. Now, I understand she's an empathetic character. Here's the thing, though. I'm a fucking nice guy. I'm probably one of the nicest guys you'll meet. I ain't fucking going down there especially if I hear you screaming. I, first of all, wouldn't go down there regardless, because guess what? A secret tunnel doesn't belong in a house, number one. Okay. Number two, scary shit happens in there. You know that's going to be the case. There's no reason for a tunnel to be in there unless scary shit happened. Okay. And then if I hear you screaming, that just puts the nail in the coffin. Something terrible's happening. I'm not going down there. I'll go get the cops. I'll go get the fire department. But I told you not to go down there. You're on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I may have gone down and looked into the corridor where she had the mirror up, and maybe even walked in and saw the room. But as soon as I saw the bed, the bucket, and the camera, like she said, I've been like, yeah, no, she's right. I don't know what inclination he had to go further down, but
yeah, I'm going to tell you what.
Maybe he was dragged down.
It was more of just like a, just a curiosity of like, oh shit, this is kind of bizarre. And he just keeps going and going and going and going. And then he gets his head bashed up against the wall. But
multiple times.
Several times, yeah. I enjoyed this whole sequence leading up into this point. And then once the movie cuts to Justin Long for a good maybe 15 minutes, you're not sure what the fuck is the point of even all this. It almost feels like two separate movies, like a series of shorts. That's our first short story. Here comes the next one.
Yeah, somebody really liked that song because him like singing it for 5 minutes before he even gets a phone call or does anything seemed
Which
a little
song?
long. When they cut to him and he's driving in his convertible down the highway.
Yeah.
He's like he like sings the whole fucking song before anything happens in the scene, and he gets a call and figures out shit's going down. It's like,
well,
somebody really likes that song, or
no, it's just very effective writing because it takes your expectations as an audience member and kind of just flips it on its head.
Oh yeah.
And it's like because you're sitting.
Sure.
Well, you're sitting there like, well, what the fuck am I watching now? Like what? Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, what the fuck? Now, just to be clear with you and the audience, I thought from the trailers, very specifically, the phone call that he makes to that agency that like was running his properties and stuff, and the woman's like, "Thank you, have a nice day." I thought this was going to be some like Hunger Games type of shit from the trailer. Like, it's a property that's set up by some like insidious corporation thing, almost sort of like The Cabin. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie where like there's a secret lab beneath the wood. Like, I thought it was going to be a situation like that. So for me, again, having this jarring switch, I was like, oh, okay, well, now what the fuck is happening? Turns out Justin Long is an actor. He definitely sexually assaulted a female co-star, and he's getting in trouble for it. And his life is basically coming to an end, and he needs to liquidate some of his assets to sort of save his ass. So he goes to his house in Detroit that we come to find out is this same house. And initially you're like, wait, is this like years after what happened with Tess? Is it years before?
I think a week or two.
I don't even think it was that long. Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, when he called the place, they were
right.
like, nobody's rented it in a couple of weeks. So she's been down in that cell for a couple of weeks.
You're right. And you could tell from the way she's all disheveled.
Hairy, dirty milk bottle.
Yeah. He gets in there and he's like, somebody's been fucking squatting in my house. And he discovers the secret tunnel and has a completely different reaction to it. And he's fucking pulling out the measuring tape because he's seeing it as square footage and value. Oh shit, there's a secret tunnel in my fucking place? I could sell this shit for more money. There's this beast thing living down in these tunnels. We don't quite know what it is yet. And she has captured Tess. It has captured Tess in this cell. It's trying to feed her fucking milk bottles, as Dusty alluded to. There's a really funny fucking scene with Justin Long where she's trying to breastfeed him, which was pretty fucking funny to me. The big reveal comes from the second jarring fucking sharp turn that the movie takes to this flashback of Richard Brake's character, Frank. We find out that Frank is basically been keeping women in this basement and having sex with them.
Capturing and breeding.
Yeah, capturing, breeding, killing, doing all this weird, bizarre shit. And the beast that's down there, a.k.a. the mother, is the product of all this fucking going on. And she's this just crossbred, inbred mutant monster that's never seen the light of day, but still has that motherly instinct.
You're going to have that when you watch that video 24/7 on repeat.
Again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the setup and stuff was really very interesting. But ultimately, once the movie gets around to revealing what is actually going on, for me, it was a little bit of a letdown. The big reveal leaves more questions than answers. Now, before you yell at me, I realize that there's like 15 videos on this channel of me ranting and raving about what makes horror movies so effective is the mysterious nature of things, the unexplained, the theater of the mind. However, in this case, I think there would have been some really effective stuff had they revealed a little bit more. Nothing like too much, but just a tad. Honestly, it's fitting that we did recently just review Halloween, because Halloween does those things very effectively. But this movie does a lot of similar things to Halloween. Lots of the tension is built on the fact that they do leave a lot to the imagination in this movie. It doesn't rely on jump scares or gore as a substitute for, genuine horror or suspense. It relies on mood and atmosphere and like kind of keeping you guessing and all that stuff. Barbarian's horror it's in the situations that these characters find themselves in. It is Tess sort of waking up in a house that she shouldn't be in to begin with, and he's making fucking weird noises on the couch. It's in the fact that she gets trapped in the fucking basement after she reveals a mysterious door. It's in the fact that Justin Long's got this fucking creature like in his face trying to fucking breastfeed him.
Somebody here?
I thought the movie did some things really well. And again, mostly the first half, the suspense and the thrill building was great. But then there were some things that were just too cliche and poorly done. I want to say like the guy running down the street, hey lady. Like, it's obviously a guy. He's going to be a good guy and he's going to save you later. That was clear. Or
I didn't get that. This is why I say like her character was oftentimes smart, but oftentimes not smart. Now, I didn't pick up on it for whatever reason.
Like the old man or the old man in Home Alone. Is it the old man or old lady?
Yeah, the old man, the fucking the shoveler.
Yeah, the snow shoveler.
But here's the thing, right?
Principle.
Right, but here's the thing. Like, okay, so you picked up on it. You thought maybe, he's trying to stop her.
Yeah.
But she did what any normal person would do in that situation. I'm in a fucking badass neighborhood. So,
right.
But that's
and
what I liked
that was set
about
up
it.
perfectly because, like I said, she said she's in this I forget the neighborhood, but the person she ever was like, oh my gosh, you need to be very careful.
Right.
And the guy she's rooming was like, oh, you don't need to be outside. So it makes sense that something like that would scare the normal person. But then like I'm left there thinking, and that was done on purpose for plot reasons for later.
Yeah, see, I never actually got that because she had me believe. Like, I think her portrayal of the smart character was believable.
Smart thing to do, right?
But again, that's part of my problem with the movie, or one of my problems with the movie, is that like again, every review I saw after watching it was like, oh man, like these characters, there's especially her, she's so smart and it's really believable, unlike other horror movies. And again, she's smart in certain situations, but then it doesn't excuse a lot of the other shit that she does in the movie. There were times where she was very smart, and then there were other times where she wasn't. Now I get it, she's empathetic and all that stuff, but it doesn't align with the fact that she's smart, because no matter how empathetic you are, you're not gonna I don't know, I guess people make bad decisions all the time, act on emotion. I don't know. It's hard to say. But from an outside perspective watching it, I was just like, so a lot of this stuff doesn't really align with some of the other stuff that they showed me with her. So that was my thing. I think with Justin Long, clearly he was obviously the dumb asshole guy. So that was just, he's a fucking selfish, bumbling idiot who's destined to die. But as a thriller, I think it was very effective. I think it plays with the mood, the atmosphere, the unknowing elements. And then it makes some of the big reveals scary, those payoffs, not as jump scares. The only jump scare really in the movie is when you first see the mother before she kills Keith and she pops up out of nowhere. That's really the only jump scare in the movie.
Besides the other cliche moment.
I would bust through the wall.
I've lived here for 15 years and she's never coming here. Get ready, buddy, because it's happening.
Well, see, you say cliche like it's a bad thing. I think that was kind of just like a play on that thing. Like it was a fun.
That was a lighter, funnier, cliche moment for me, but it's still cliche.
The one moment I thought was real fucking creepy and very tense is when she's actually escaping and she's going through the tunnel, and you know that the mother's behind her, and she very narrowly gets out through the basement window. And the mother is like right there, and she fucking reaches through and misses her. That shit was creepy. That was scary.
Yeah, that was a good scene. That was very suspenseful.
This process might seem overwhelming, but with a little practice, it can soon become a pleasurable experience.
So I do think this movie does a lot of really good things. Overall, I did really enjoy it. Again, I think the payoff from a story perspective was a little bit disappointing. The way the movie was shot and filmed, the writing, the acting. I can't say enough good things about Georgina Campbell. She was fucking great in this movie.
Yes, she was.
She carried it. Bill Skarsgård was amazing for the time that he was in it. Justin Long was amazing for the time that he was in it. All that stuff was great. Does it live up to the hype? not the specific stuff that I read. I don't think it's disturbing. I don't think it's the most disturbing horror movie in years. I don't think it's twisted. I don't think it was shocking. I think it was a very skillfully and artfully crafted movie that plays on audience expectations very, very well. It has a 7.1 on IMDb right now. I'm going to give it a 7. I'd give this a 7.
I give it a 6.
6? Okay.
Yep.
How do you think
Only because this would not have happened. Anybody carrying a firearm that goes down that tunnel is basically...
Yeah,
as
but
soon
come
as
on.
you see anything, you shoot and the movie's over. And you call the cops and they find the old man. And then you make headlines of like Airbnb stayer finds decrepit old couple that tortured people back in the 80s. Like,
you can't watch horror movies like that, though. That's not fair.
I mean...
You can't inject logic into
and I
it.
agree with you. This is why I have a big problem with a lot of horror movies, is because I have to, and even like, okay, so when you talk about like sci-fi, you know, is it within the realm of plausibility? When you're talking about horror, like there's sci-fi, there's the supernatural element, but some of it's supposed to just be scary. But
yeah,
I mean, if you're an alert, attent individual who is generally prepared for situations, right, most of that stuff isn't going to be scary at all. So it just feels stupid to me sometimes.
So, no, I mean, that's fair. But I think, you know, horror movies are fun because of those elements that make you be like, bitch, why are you going in there? Fucking, what are you doing? Like, that's part of the fun of it. But if you've watched Barbarian or you do watch it, let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. You could click on that playlist over there to see other movies that we've reviewed. Consider subscribing if you've enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Asta.